and a very welcome to what we are calling the Aquarian Church. I use the word church very reservedly. I use it mainly because it reaches out to the Western world who are familiar with spirituality being organized into something called a church from the Christian perspective, which makes up a big majority of our population in the West, where I find myself in America, 2020. An ashram. That's a beautiful word coming from our brothers and sisters in the frickin' East. The Hindus, the Indians, a mosque. The beautiful Sufis have so much to teach us about their mystical tradition. The very ones who kept alive knowledge that kept us from completely falling into the dark ages of Pisces, of deception. We're coming out of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. This is an astronomical phenomena that can be scientifically measured relating to the Earth's rotation and cycles and in what direction it's pointed and its location. All of that is changing, which it does on a 2,000 to 2,400 year period. So, 2,000 years ago, we had Pisces, symbolized by the fish. And now we're moving from Pisces into Aquarius, hence the name the Aquarian Church. There's certain characteristics of the Piscean nature that will be moving collectively, consciously, into the Aquarian. The characteristics of the Aquarius will be taken over, and we'll look into that further. A temple, a temporary space here in Earth, in the world of temporality, of El, of the Elohim. El is Saturn in ancient Mesopotamia. My name is Liam. I have an undergraduate degree in religious studies from a secular university. I have a master's degree in theology from a Catholic university. I went to be a seminarian and studied for a religious order of priests for a year. I've got out of that, worked for a director of religious education and initiation into the Catholic Church as a lay member, in assistance to the priest. Never was sexually assaulted by a priest. A little insulted. I'm like, come on. I was never an altar boy until older. My mother brought me up, and father brought me up free-minded. They weren't into religion that much, but they decided I should be grown up with some. So my mother shopped around. She got along with some Irish Catholic priests. They were both grew up in an Irish background, so it felt right. So they brought us up in the Catholic Church. Now, my mother was spiritual, very much connected to the Virgin Mary, the feminine element. I didn't know I was going to be getting into my personal life. Let's do it though, because who are you to listen to me? So I'm going to have to give you a little bit of background, because I could just I could just do information drops, but if I don't give you some context of where this is coming out of, and I am a person, hence subjectivity is something that is a part of this, and a beautiful part of this. Because what I'm presenting is nothing new. It's been presented since ages past. But the way that I do it in my own unique way is a way that only I can do it. And similarly, what you came here to do, only you can do it. No one else could do what you came here to do. How beautiful is that? Our unique timestamp. Everyone who was born into this world was at a specific location in a specific time. Where you can map that out using astrology. Turns out astrotheology, astral myth, is a big part that makes up all the world religions. That, combined together with Kundalini Yoga, the rising of the serpent, the seraphim, on the tree of life, the seraphim who guards the tree of life. The literal translation of seraphim is fiery serpent. Is this fiery, spiral-like, church spire-like up your spine, like a pine tree, the tree of life, evergreen, everlasting. We have our crown chakra, a laurel wreath to symbolize it. When we are able to move from our root chakra of fear out of the Red Sea and cross that, hopefully up to be crowned. This has all astral myth that has been attached to, latched onto by different religious traditions to try to justify their divine right to rule over others. And they author their spells and curses. They're dark sorcerers and put us in this. And they want us to be scared of this occult knowledge. Well, this is the apocalypse, the apro, the opening, April, the month of spring, of the great Passover, where we're passing over from the age of belief and faith into the age of knowledge. But what do we bring forward and hopefully fully connect to bring it forward? Love is what remains. This is actually in your scriptures. Paul speaks of something similar. Probably a fictitious historical character that never existed. Jesus is an allegory, a metaphor, just like Hiram Abiff is for the Masons. It's an allegory, his story is. The hero's journey, the son's journey, victorious, rising from the dead. Now we want to align with that. It's called sympathetic magic, actually. Because as above, so below, as without, so within, let it be done on earth as it is in heaven. So we want to connect them. So we're going to bring astral mythology into our ceremonies, which is, it's already done. The whole Eucharist is the bread of Virgo, opposite of Pisces. Let's go to my next slide because I do go through this. So, I went off on a tangent. I'm just so excited to do this. Okay, so the All Souls is my branch of the Aquarian Church. The Aquarian Church is just like the umbrella. So you come up, you make up your own stuff. Mine's going to be a little bit more Catholic looking because I came from a Catholic background. I love reggae music, so I'm going to add reggae music. I think marijuana has a very important, crucial part to play ceremonial. Add that in. I think psychedelics, psychotropics could be used for initiation type rituals if you so feel desired. But we're all priests. We're all prophets. We're all popes. We're all kings. We're all queens. The authority is you. And you come up with your own unique way to do this. But we come together in the community, which is the Aquarian age, which is the epoch that we are in. Whether you like it or not, that's where we are. So we're building a ship, a mothership, a spaceship, spiritually, communally, because so many of us are so spiritual but not religious because we've seen what religion has done, and then we just give up on it. Well, religion is going to continue to exist while we're here, whether we like it or not, whether we buy into it or not. Well, it could be a tool for good. And so it'll turn out to be bad anyway, so why even do it? Because it will get corrupt. Then we failed. We have to keep on trying. Without being an egotistical cult leader, looking for a cult following. And that's what creating your own unique part of the Aquarian Church, ashram, collective is a part of. I'm calling mine a church because I'm trying to reach out to people who are in church, I guess. I don't know. Church comes from kerk, clerk, Ceres, cereal. It's where we have Hans and Gretel, the story where the mother tries to bring you in to eat you. Because you want to be careful what you join your energy up with. Something that's trying to cast it off. No. We want to stress the divinity and humanity. Humanitarianism is what we're pushing. All souls. Why all souls? Why did I pick this? Because all inclusivity, not exclusivity, not supremic, not chosen, not better than everybody else, not here to be served, not even here to be a servant to. The self, the sacred serpent of the feminine, which is the divine feminine of freaking Saturn, going up alpha, the father, the masculine, uniting them into one single eye on top of the pyramid, not disconnected and looking down on it and having us all stuck in brick like they would have us on our dollar bill, but having it crowned on top. Holy, halo, Helios, bringing the sun and Saturn together, our actions and our inner emotional organization, structure, and it's our power. Our emotions are our power, and we have to. A big thing about going into the age of Aquarius is not turning into a robot. Air is an air sign. Aqua is the water bearer of mystical air. Air is knowledge, is communications. The internet was a great opening of the floodgates of the age of Aquarian. The waters of knowledge pouring into us. And so, with all that communications, that revolution, it's going to affect how we look at religion. So then here is taking that into religion and using their own sword to bring down the dark serpent so we could raise the Holy Virgin, innocent one. Turning the freaking whore of Babylon into the Virgin Mary. Because we all have this in us. Turning Lucifer into the bright herald light bearer of the morning, Venus, who heralds the morning sun, who gives us our senses, not that we get lost in them, but we might use them, such as technology, not getting lost in it, losing our soul in it, selling our soul out by not appreciating, loving that which is the feminine, emotional, caring, compassionate, concerning, ultimately creative force that is the womb of the woman. There's been a ritualistic sacrifice of the virgin, where we always sacrifice a virgin, throw her in the volcano. Virgo, September 11th happened in Virgo season. Virgo is the 7th month, and September, even though they put it to 9, 9/11 is really 7, because the 7 chakras up the middle, which is why World Trade Tower 7 had to fall to complete this dark, satanic, dark ritual that these dark sorcerers have over our world, because they know this hidden secret occult knowledge through masonry, through dark Kabbalism, through hidden secret societies, through the church, through politics, through whatever. Well, this great awakening, apocalypse, eye-opening of the eclipse, the cyclops of freaking third eye, so that we get through the division of the two, of the red and the blue, the black and the white, the he and the her, the left and the right. Hopefully this religion can bring us together and unify us through that, and not towards some utopic, unrealistic escapism thing. No, we're very much responsible for this. We are the Savior. You are Jesus. You are the Son. You're not here as a fan in the background while other people know this and get taught this because they're born through secret lines, bloodlines. Bullarchy. Here we have the Aquarius pouring out the waters of knowledge. Pegasus is in between Pisces and Aquarius. So the unicorn imagery has to do with being birthed out of the one single third eye. when we bring the two fishes, which are still dualities, together into one, God and man. Not God and a machine. And P.S., the internet technology is all spiritual. We have this habit of casting off everything as not spiritual, profane, and then separating. Oh, when you take a shit, that's a sacred fucking shit. I said I wasn't gonna curse. I did it. Here are the fishes of Pisces, the fisher of men, but still two, but tied together with a sacred, beautiful cord. Here we have it painted red. Our root fear chakra is what keeps us divided. When we raise up out of that red, which is beautiful, that gives us our ego, our courage, our willpower. Lots of us have been so oppositely blue-pilled, where we're just so complacent and checked out emotionally. Or overly emotional, sway back and forth, where we just don't do anything. We want to bring the red and the blue together into that beautiful sacred purple. The royal color for a reason. Purple heart. Yeah, don't get me on the military and the police right now, please. So instead of this symbol on the back of cars, we need to bring all the good things from Pisces, which is the feminine, divine, mystical, high priestess of the temple, care, compassion, concern, ultimate divine mercy, infinite, unfathomable, unspeakable, love, source, divine oneness. All that got fucking suppressed to shit. Opposite of that was freaking Virgo and the earth. Were the two things that we killed. Virgin Mary. The Masons came here. They called Virginia, Maryland, and Virginia. Columbia. Columbia is the doves, the two turtle doves. They always sacrifice them. Columbus of the columns, the two columns, the entry. They were still working on keeping us from even entering out of freaking, what was the Aries, the ram of Mars, the warrior, and Libra, the beautiful scales. Oh, I haven't thought about Libra being opposite of. What they don't want us to do is pass into these ages on top, these dark sorcerers. Hence, September 11th is the 7 chakras. Holy sh! We're doing this. We are doing this, Lily. Next slide. The freaking chakras, my friend. In the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. 7. And then we have, bam, the two pillars right here. White, one black. Opposites. We have our Kabbalistic tree of life right here. Our cube within a cube. This is daft. We don't even talk about that. What it is the planets, and you want to bring the right and the left, the masculine and the feminine, the moon, the masculine, the sun. You bring them up the Caduceus staff of Mercury. You open, it's where you get your wings, your third eye. When you bring these serpents, the spiraling energy up to meet at your pineal gland, where it bursts off like palm trees. Hence we lay out palm fronds to bring in Christ the King, who's received his crown at the 34th Sunday of the church. Because the 33 is when you've gone up the 33 sections of your spine, hence the 33 degrees of masonry. Now, together with our 7 chakras in here, we have our 40 days and our 40 nights that we have to traverse through the desert. It is sacred metaphysiology. And we do this through meditation, right living, right thought, right action. Oh man. Oh, I forgot that. I thought I had my whiteboard up. Oh, really? Okay, well. Okay, here's just some more Pisces information. Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter rules Pisces. Hence, Peter was given the keys of the kingdom for 2,000 years. Well, now those keys are being given over to the ruler of Aquarius, who is Saturn, also known as Satan. But don't fear, because it's Mr. Miyagi is here. He's the great disciplinary. It makes you, in the story of Job, it's Jupiter who wants to just give blessings and everything, and so you love Jupiter, you love God, you say. And then Saturn comes in, the accuser, to test you. To be that disciplinary force, to crystallize you, to turn you from lead into gold. The great alchemical process, but it has to go through the nigredo phase first, which is the blackening, part of the cutting away the dross. That can be painful. We have been collectively traumatized. What we need to do is collectively post-traumatic stress disorder therapy on a massive scale, especially those who have gone into the military, the police, religions, fraternities, who have been psychologically traumatized, fractured, and then built up in how they want you to be. The military, a cold-blooded killer. A police officer, perhaps not that far away. A religious zealot who takes these things literally. It's like the majority of the world still believes in Santa Claus being real. Well, here we're telling you that Santa Claus is real on a metaphysical, logical level, not literal. So they teach the literal story so that they can control them. And they mix that with political propaganda to control them. That's what fucking happened here. Shout out to my transitions. I took some time. Yeah. Pisces is also the age of deception, when it was really supposed to be an age of care, compassion, concern, the Christ consciousness, a spiritual ideal, not a physical person that walked on this earth. Neither was Moses or Abraham. Those are all allegories. Abraham of the ram, of Sarah, of the cerebellum, of Bella, Venus. This is going to be so fun. Your boy Jesus even talks about this going down. The Aquarius age, the great Passover. Preparing for the Passover. Where do you want us to prepare it, they asked. He answered them, when you enter the city, a man carrying a jug of water will meet you. Follow him to the house he enters. The 11th house is the 11th sign of Aquarius. Because this is the great Passover. The Passover from Pisces into Aquarius, the water bearer, also known as John, Ion, Uranus, the Baptist. Opposite him is the Lion of Leo. Hence the return of the conquering lion of the tribe of Leo, the Lion of Judah, because the Judeans attached themselves to this. The 12 tribes, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 zodiac constellations, of the 12 months, of the 12 apostles, of the 12 pillars of Hercules, the 12 labors of Samson, or vice versa. What a beautiful apocalypse this is. People thought it was going to be a lot worse. Things about the Aquarian age, and then we'll talk about Leo a little bit. I love that image, by the way. Coming from our heart. Our heart married together with our mind. The great genius mind of the Aquarian is all about freedom, revolution, evolution, communications, individuality, and community. Seemingly different opposing things, but nah, because we have the ability to put together complex things together. A community that celebrates the individuality and the coming to know each person the most they can. Astrology is something that helps us to know us a lot about who we are. What the Aquarian church is giving a forum, a platform for people to express their own uniqueness, but giving them community. Because that's one thing we lost when we lost the organized religion, was that it gives us community and strength. Hence, the stone that the builder refused is going to become the head cornerstone. That's for the Masons out there who run this world. Authenticity. That's very much being bold, that Leo boldness to take your downloads to earth, to manifest them. We're going into, this is a fixed sign. We're coming from a mutable sign into a fixed sign. So the dark sorcerers want to fix and hex some crap on us. So this is our chance, especially as we exit Pisces, to leave all that, the bad parts about it, the deception, as we step into this age of knowing. But we haven't even learned the lessons of Pisces yet, which is the divine sacred feminine, care, compassion, creativity, concern. And if we don't learn those lessons, we're gonna go into Aquarius and we're gonna turn into freaking robots and lose our souls. Even more so. And then 2,000 years after that, we'll go into Capricorn? That's not. We don't go into Capricorn as the goat, and we leave it up for somebody else to come and to save us and to be the scapegoat, then we're stuck in this victim mentality. We have to be the saviors of this world, of ourselves. As we save ourselves, we save this world together by gaining information, knowledge, living it, sharing it, doing it with care, compassion, concern. Shit. Maybe why reggae music is so litty too. The masses. Aquarius is all about where there's a mass gathering of people, that's an Aquarian type fucking thing. The genius, our own individual genius. My dad's an Aquarius and he had me as Scorpio. He was legit a water bear. What is the Aquarian church? Shout out to my lit logo. All it is the Aquarian freaking sigil. That's all you gotta do. Oh, but in some of them I put an 8-pointed star, which is for our holidays. All our holidays, our seasons, the days that we worship everything, ourselves, and then nothing. Let somebody call you an idol worshiper because you fucking love the goddamn and have a relationship with nature. Nature is a divine sacred feminine. You wonder why they've attacked her ritually. Syncretic. We take the mystic traditions and bring them together. The Theosophists, such as Madame Blavatsky and some other spiritualists in the late 20th century, I guess. They, or 19th, in the late 1800s, early 1900s. They got together and they found out about the Eastern, like Tibetan Buddhist stuff, which a lot of it is present in the Christian Bible, which we'll go through, or the Judeo-Christian Bible, which we'll go through, and I'll show you how lots of their stuff was taken from the Greeks, who took it from the Egyptians, and they mold it in their own ways and add their own what they take from Sumeria, Babylon. These things didn't happen in a vacuum. The Holy Spirit, the God is bigger than him. We're going to have a different idea of God at the end of this. I don't even like using the word God. It comes from goad, from go to goat. prodded up a hill, which is what we're being done up the hill of Capricorn as the scapegoat. Let us not be used as a scapegoat and have the elite cast their sins upon us and use us as a slaughter to Azazel. Look in the freaking Bible. They're doing a sacrifice to an Azazel, Satan. And then Jesus had to do the same. And then we repeat it every day in Mass as a sacrifice to Satan. It's Saturn. That might be smart to do. But we're going to get out of the idea of sacrifice to yourself. Sacrifice to your family. Sacrifice to your community. That's God. Emil Durkheim, a beautiful sociologist, had this unique view of religion, is that it's merely, which is where he went into a reductionist view of it, which it narrows it down to and forgets other things. It's more than just that. But it's an interesting element, and then he went on all on board with it, is that religion is merely a worship of society. So the more that we could come together better as society, the more that we express God. Dude was a freaking atheist. He didn't even... Theus, Deus, Zeus, Jupiter. El of the Elohim is ruler Saturn. We're going to get in touch with the planets because they relate to our chakras. When we touched on the Kundalini, people get scared by it. Don't. Metaphysiological. Because people are like, oh, it's just allegories, it's metaphors for a goddamn real fucking thing that's happening within our body. But also spiritually at the same time, hence metaphysiological. You're a metaphysiologist, if you would like to be. Allegorical, not fucking literal. Because when we get literal stuck in these words, we get lost looking to name everything, to put us in a safe place. That's why I have such a hard time coming up with a name. That's why, in order to get through a bardo in the Book of the Dead in the underworld, in the Eastern faiths, you have to know the name of whoever keeps the gate, or knowing the name of an angel to get through that wrestle. Which is why some traditions, they hold the name of God to be sacred without even saying it, because of that whole ideology behind it. Words are powerful. They create reality. Hence why the Masons say, so mote it be, because I know the power of the word. It's more powerful when you put emotions into it. That's the sacred feminine that creates uniquely, that we have to really dive into in order to bring that into the age of Aquarius. A few knows about the Aquarian. I don't want to be dogmatic whatsoever, but I think we can all agree on these. And here's one that has been a Cancer strong. Excuse me, I need some root beer. Get in touch with your roots, your root chakra. Get some root beer. No religious and or racial superiority or supremacy. We don't talk about that. No racial superiority. People are like, yeah, that's horrible. White supremacy. Look to that. Who are small-minded. I've met very few white supremacists. Maybe black supremacists. They fall under the same freaking spell as the supremacists who think that they are chosen above everybody else and to be served, and that they're above other humans. That's not what we do in the Aquarian. Equality. Uniqueness? Well, celebrating your individuality while also coming together equally. Celebrating our differences. It doesn't have to be an and or. You're not more illumined, part of the Illuminati, because you know this stuff either. Actually, it's almost a curse upon you if you've heard this and you don't do anything about it. I'm sorry. May that curse not be upon you. I like to do an 8-point star, because that's bringing in Sirius, the bright star of the night sky. The 8-point star and the 5-point star symbolize her. The 5-point star more so Venus, who's the god of love and beauty, but also of war. Hence, we have the 5-point star in our regalia. But I think that's really for Sirius, the blazing star, which she represents the divine sacred feminine, who it can't be messed with. So they tap into that energy and then they sacrifice her and they harness it. It's like when the bad dude gets the genie bottle in Aladdin is what's happened. Well, this is us finding the lamp and rubbing it. Woo! Of oil, the sacred oil chrism that runs through our spine as we turn water into wine. That just happened to rhyme. No exclusivity. Are you alive in the age of Aquarius? Then you're invited. Were you invited in any age? That you're invited. You're already a part of it. No authority. This one's been tough because you are your own authority, your own pope, your own priest, and we're going to learn how to do that better ministers, custodians of bringing God to earth and to others and to ourselves. We don't hike up anybody as an authoritarian person in this. The Aquarian umbrella serves just as a function with hopefully lots of in order to structure and organize, there will be some of that, because there just has to be in order to get anything done in this material realm. But as far as having an authority, you are your own authority. You come up with your own church. You come up with your own name. You come up with your own sacraments. You come up with your own services. You come up with your own website. You come up with your own expression of divinity to share and to bring others together. Don't lord it over anybody else. Yeah, you could be a landlord. And then look what's happening to landlords right now. The scales of justice will always level out in Libra. All our religious ceremonies from my church, the All Souls Aquarian Church, are going to be lined up with the frickin' Mondays for the moon. Miércoles for Mercury. Martes for Mars. Thursday for Thor, Jupiter. Friday for Frida, Veneres, Venus's day. The equinoxes, the solstice, the quarter marks, halfway marks, transitions of the planets into different signs and alignments is what we need to bring into how we do our religious ceremony. Because it's a tool that, if we're not using it, it's going to get used against us. It's like having the internet and be like, no, that's evil. So we don't use the internet and we just let the dark fucking overlord sorcerers use it. That don't make no sense. So they want you to be scared of it. So they dress up in horns on the VMAs. And they throw up their Capricorn goat signs. Saturn, Satan. They make it something scary so you don't look into it so that they can control you. Well, here we are, busting through the dark. I'm your host, Prince Scorpio. TheAquarianChurch.org, where you can find this. We talked about using technology for good. Why religion? The same thing as freaking technology. But we're going to use it for good. Yeah, that's nice to say. Is that utopic? Well, we're not waiting for a savior to come and do it ourselves, where we're eternal waiting. QAnon. We're doing it ourselves. Don't get psyoped by religion, which is mostly constructed by government. Look to the Titus Flavian dynasty and their creation of Christ, Jesus. An amalgamation of Serapis, the serpent on the staff, the caduceus of Mercury, the deuces of the two serpents of the staff when it turned into Mercury. Divided. We fall, united, we stand. The divine feminine helps to bring us in and nurture us into the cave to be reborn again. Cancer, namely, and the bright star Sirius that resides in her. The seat of heaven, the queen of heaven, the seat of wisdom. The Aquarian Church is taking over. I imagine the Catholic Church is just going to fall down. Their creed is they believe in a literal Jesus that was born. This is spiritual stuff. And we're proving it. It's beautiful still. But we can see how they used a literal interpretation of it to get rich and to enslave and oppress. So I imagine we're going to make your own, you'll be your own priest, and you can sign up under the Aquarian Church to initiate your own weddings if you so feel called to officiate and to oversee one and sign a government paper. Do I want to register the Aquarius Church with the government as an official religion to be recognized so they have information on our members? Whatever that means. I don't even want to have an official member list anywhere. I don't want secret societies, and I don't believe we need a transparency. But with regards, you can't trust the government, dog. You see what they're doing? Okay, so here's a beautiful wedding inside of that I was able to host. I've married people before. Witnessed their marriage. You carry out their own sacrament yourself. I'm just there to sign a paper out there. I saw it. These people be their own priestesses and priests. I'm a witness to it. No one lord over anybody. This is me making videos. I use a blue screen, green screen in the background. I have a whiteboard that I wasn't supposed to write on the disc. I tried to make my own whiteboard. It didn't turn out well. I went and bought one. And so that we could do all types of stuff. I want to do astrological reports. That's part of my ministry. Bringing all the New Agers. It's nothing new. It's just stuff that's been oppressed. Our ancient religious roots. Reading cards. Divinization. How to best interpret God's will and plan for us. Our higher self. Don't cast off God into anything that's not yourself. I built my own little he shed in the backyard. That's where I'm in right now. This is some sheet, a cloak my mom left behind before she passed away, which is why I have such a devotion to the sacred feminine and the motherly aspect, because I got it taken away from me. You can see it in my birth chart. It's happening for me to bring Mother Church to Mother Earth. Woo! Music, everything. All right, I think that finishes my slideshow. Let's end this with a prayer. Chanting is something we're going to bring in. Dancing, celebrate. This is a party atmosphere that we've gotten this far. That's the reason to celebrate. They want us to be melancholic and sad and down in the dumps. We're raising up. We praise. What do we praise? Everything. Us. The fact that we're here. That we created this to experience it. Not to get used in it, but to use it, to be at one with it, to dance with it, that sacred divine dance. And we thank the source from whence we came, in whom we exist, and to whom we return. It's a beautiful inward breath and outward exhalation. We are here to exalt all that is good, true, and beautiful in our small daily little actions, in the way that we try to train our mind to think, in the way that we organize and use our emotions, and not get used by them. And we are thankful for being great magicians, priests in this laboratory that is our body and life and existence, and as above, so below, let it be done on earth as it is in heaven. And we hold the keys to heaven here on earth. We're stealing the keys from frickin' Peter. We out here.